how do you first of all take this, and how do we ensure that we sustain this momentum?
Sure.
Yeah.
Look, I will not take credit for the good times we are seeing right now.
Yes.
But you're right that in the recent past, the market has actually been performing very well.
You're right.
I think the first thing is to recognize what our government and some of the key stakeholders in government, for example, the National Treasury, CBK and the like, have done really to change the fortunes of our country, particularly addressing the macro issues.
Yes.
Okay? And I think those have actually contributed significantly to the huge uptick we are seeing in the NSE in the recent past. For example, of course, the settlement, the payment of the €2 billion Euro bond.
You're right.
The shilling has been doing very well. Inflation seems to be coming down.
Yes.
I think all these factors means the fundamentals of our economy are actually on the up. They're looking good.
You're right.
They're actually very positive in my view. And the huge surge we are seeing in our fixed income, our bonds market, our equities market at the NSE is a reflection of that.
Yeah.
As to your question around is how sustainable that is.
Yes.
First of all, I think yes, it is sustainable. Secondly, we said it's not business as usual. So part of my role is to actually make sure that it's sustainable in the context of what the NSE's role is to bring even more opportunities in the market for our various investors to participate in. I also do think that NSE, at least under my leadership, will definitely work a lot more closely with the larger capital markets ecosystem, including stakeholders in government, to make sure that if there is requirements around policy changes, regulatory changes, then we can shepherd those for the interest of our investors. So the short answer is it is sustainable.
Yes.
And I think the market will continue to be a lot more buoyant going forward.
Wow. Thank you so much for that. But, you know, you come in at a season where we have come from years of several challenges, and I'm sure you're well abreast with all these matters. We're still hoping to see the listings come on board. We're still hoping to see, you know, a lot of participation happen. I want to ask you, you know, when you were taking up this role, you knew very well you're coming to take up something that is that needs to be picked up. What is your plan for us to ensure that we have that robust, as you've said, and vibrant market? Yeah.
Yes, it's a big element of picking up.
You're right.
So, you know, bringing growth.
Yeah.
But there are very clear areas where I would want to focus on. I think it's clear that the first thing would be to increase the participation of our retail investors in the NSE. It's currently hovering somewhere below 10%. Would want that to be a lot higher. And the way to do that, or at least some of the ways to do that, is to enable the retail investors really find it easier, and I would dare say cheaper, to access opportunities at the NSE, to invest in the NSE.
Yes.
And technology is a big part of that. So one of my focus areas definitely is going to be, how do I enable the retail investors participate more easily, readily, quicker, using tech on the NSE. In fact, His Excellency the President William Ruto, when he was in one of his visits at the NSE, did actually challenge the NSE to make it easier for the retail investors to participate in the securities exchange.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be one of the things that we would definitely focus on. And it's the retail constituent includes also the diaspora.
Yes.
So it's not just our local brothers and sisters in our market.
Yeah.
So that's one of the focus areas. The second area, of course, will be how do we bring in more listings and to our market. You will be aware that we haven't had listings for quite a while.
Absolutely.
The phrase I think that has been used is a listing drought.
Yep.
The intention is to come up with more innovative ways of bringing listings to the NSE. That will also include working very closely with government to see potential IPOs from the privatization side of things. And we've already been having meetings with stakeholders in government to push for that conversation on the back of actually commitments made by, again, His Excellency the President in one of his visits at the NSE.
You're right.
Subject to us also being, worthy partners, let me put it that way. So increasing listings and working, of course, with, as I said, with government to bring privatizations will be a key focus area for me in my tenure here. Because that also, of course, deepens the market, gives more variety to our investors, both local and foreign, and more importantly, of course, it creates opportunity for wealth democratization, let me put it that way, across the country. Yeah. So that's the second area. Yeah. The third area is, NSE is itself a publicly listed company. Okay? It demutualized in 2015 when it was a member association and listed itself on its own exchange.
You're right.
So that means we have shareholders.
Yes.
Okay.
Of the NSE.
Yes. Who we are accountable to. So as the CE, as the chief executive, part of my role, a significant role actually, is to drive the growth and profitability of NSE as an entity.
Absolutely.
So that the returns to its stakeholders, including shareholders, its employees, and others, are also enjoying that. Now, how that happens, part of how that happened echoes back to the conversation we just had about it's not business as usual. I'm not here to chug along, as I say.
Yes.
Okay. So the intention is to drive NSE's growth, profitability as part and parcel of widening the investor base. Yeah. Maybe as a final point is to also say that growth will come also from innovation of new products in collaboration with the ecosystem, the capital markets ecosystem. Yeah. Working with the other capital markets players to come up with products that are really responding to the requirements of our various stakeholders. Okay. And that is actually one of the marks of it's not BAU. Yes. Okay, we need to come up with innovations that respond to our market and that actually are profitable to those that invest in them. Okay. I see actually a very bright future for the NSE. Wow. I see it being a regional platform. Yes. To support our economic growth. I do not think that we can truly say that Kenya will achieve widespread economic development if we have a moribund securities exchange. It just doesn't work like that, whether here or anywhere else. You're right. So this is a key tool in economic development, and I wouldn't take on a role like this in my age, with my background, if I didn't think it is a platform that can actually enable us to actually move the needle significantly on our economic development story.
Excellent, excellent. And there, you've put it very well. As we come to a close of the conversation, there has been a lot of key announcements on especially the valuations of even the NSE and all that. What does this speak to this organization and even just to the economy at large? What are you seeing?
So, and I'm not necessarily sure as the new CEO whether I should be saying this, but the point is, this is the time to buy.
This is the time to buy.
Look, the valuations at the NSA currently, if you compare them to some of the other, some other markets, they are discounted. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They are, in my view, not reflective of the true value of a lot of these counters. Okay, but they also speak to the need for the investor base that should be participating in the NSE to be a lot wider and deeper. I think what it means right now is this is the time to actually come to the market.
Yeah.
Okay, because when valuations are at the level they are now, and knowing that the economy is growing, our fundamentals are positive, if you look at it long term, this is the time to actually come into the market. I think what is particularly important to emphasize is that if you believe that the Kenyan economic outlook is positive, that the fundamentals of a lot of our listed entities are robust, it goes without saying that
it's the time.
This is the time. Okay. In any event, the past quarter has actually shown that to be true.
Yeah.
Okay. So my view is this is the time to come to the market, but we also as NSE are going to do a lot more to create choice and opportunity and accessible opportunity for either existing and new participants in the securities exchange across all the product range.
Okay. Finally, Frank, any new person comes with a promise, and so to the viewers, to the investors, potential investors who haven't invested and would want to, and even stakeholders in the entire ecosystem, what's your word and what's your promise?
So if you were to ask those who know me, at least professionally, what I'm about, I'm about outcomes. Okay? I'm about outcomes.
Yeah.
Positive outcomes for that matter. Okay?
Yes.
What my promise here, and it goes to different stakeholders. So let me try and highlight some of them.
That's okay.
The first one, of course, is to the NSE team. My promise to them is that not only will it not be business as usual, but it's a huge opportunity for them to grow their careers, to innovate together, to serve our country.
Wow.
And I will stand by them on the basis that that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. To government, who are key stakeholders for the NSE and the larger capital markets ecosystem, the NSE will be looking to be a true partner with government to enable them achieve their policy promises. For example, around the BETA agenda, the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. I actually do believe that NSE is very, very key to enabling those promises to come to life. And I think the way to do that is to be a true partner to government and seek to actually do the right thing with government. So I have a promise around that. I have a promise to my board to the extent that in the conversation that we've had prior to me shaking their head on this, was that we're here not to do business as usual. So that's my promise to them. And then finally, of course, to the larger capital markets ecosystem and the investment community, NSE will bring growth and innovation opportunities for all of us. And that goes to whether we're talking to local investors or foreign investors. Whether we're talking retail investors or institutional investors, you will see change here for the good. You hold me to that.
And I'll be looking for you as many times.
Please.
To keep in check.
Please. The minute I stop picking your calls, then you know
there's something off. Thank you so much, Frank, for your time.
Thank you very much.
It's an absolute honor.
Thank you for having me.
There you have it, the chief executive, the new chief executive, really very optimistic, saying, listen, it's not business as usual, and it's the best time for you to take up any products in the market, because you know what, look at the valuations and what is happening right now in the markets. So there you have it from him, the captain's mouth himself, saying, listen, watch and see what will come. Thank you so much for your time. I leave you now with the markets.